Every generation has its idols. We read about the idols in the olden days and we think, why, were they retarded? Were they that dumb? Were they not yet evolved? Were their brains still primitive, that they bowed to statues and they worshiped the planets and whatever? It's really not that strange, and it hasn't changed that much. We worship things, and we put our trust in things that are going to disappoint us because they're false gods. So if you overvalue anything and make that the focus of your life, that's an idol, and it's going to disappoint you. And everything that was said about the ancient idols is true of these things too. They don't really see, they don't really hear, they can't help you when you're in trouble, and they're going to disappoint you. You don't necessarily have to refer to these things with divine names, and you don't have to bow to it physically or offer up sacrifices to it. But in a very real way, if you put your trust in something and invest your life in it, you are sacrificing. So, for example, if there was an idol, if we could point to something that is in America, a modern day idol. America today worships a number of idols. One is love. Americans worship love. Love is the solution to everything. Love is the highest form of life. Love is the ultimate. It's an idol. And as with all idols, it will disappoint. It does not live up to its to what we're hoping. Love will keep us together, the old song goes. No, it won't. If love keeps you together, then no one should ever get divorced, because no one ever gets married without love. So if you loved each other, what happened? If love is supposed to keep you together. So you can say, well, they fell out of love. That means that love is not enough. It means that love is not the answer to all questions and all problems. What does it mean you fell out of love? Is if it's that flimsy, if it's that unreliable and unpredictable, you certainly can't base your life on it. So we do worship love. And we sacrifice for it. We sacrifice a lot in the name of love, in the pursuit of love. And it always disappoints. So we have to have a more realistic view of love. A more realistic view of love is that love is a gift that is appropriate when you're in a relationship with something valuable and important. If there's somebody important in your life, well, then you should love that person in response and in proportion commensurate to the importance. The more important something is, the more you should love it. The more appropriate love is. Love will not make the importance, will not create the importance, but it is the proper response, the proper emotion to that which is important. So, being an emotion may be the best emotion, maybe the preferred emotion, but it is an emotion. Emotion means a response to something. It is not the beginning, and it is not the end. It is a reaction to something. So if you find that something is valuable, you should love it. If you find that something is virtuous, you should love it. If you find that something is important and significant, you should love it. That should be your emotional response to the reality, to the truth, to the sense and role that this thing plays. So if you find that that kindness is a virtue and is important and is admirable and is correct, intellectually compelling, you will love it, because that's what your heart's reaction will be. So when the mind says, this is important, this is big, this is necessary, this is good, then the heart says, okay, so I want it, so give me. If the mind says, this is bad, this is dangerous, this is destructive, this is ugly, the heart says, okay, so let's get away from it. Let's hate it. So emotions are a response to what is important and significant. It's not the emotion that makes it important or significant. So if we abandon the idol of love, then the love can become healthy again. Because what love can do, it will do. What love can't do, you shouldn't expect. So we don't expect love to make a relationship. We don't expect love to fix a relationship. If the relationship is important and significant, the love will respond. So it's not technically correct to say that love is important. The proper way to think of it is love is appropriate. So you love God because God is important. You love your fellow Jew because a Jew is important. You love your neighbor because your neighbor is important, not because love is important. There's another idol that we have to disabuse ourselves of, and that is success. Americans worship success. I remember being in Oxford University. They had all these billboards announcing famous people, important people, very intelligent people who were coming to lecture, and among the billboards, among the signs, there was a famous boxer. A boxer. He was coming, among the others, to be interviewed or to speak or to. And I asked one of the students there, "What? A boxer? Oxford University? What can he possibly say to you?" And his very sincere and honest answer was, "We admire anyone who excels at whatever it is he does. And if he's the best boxer in the world, then we want to hear from him." What that really means is success is its own justification. If you're really very good at something, no matter what it is, you are admired, because success is God. Actually, if you follow that logic, a guy who can steal $50 billion should be the hero of the century, because he is very good at what he does. Because he got caught, which ruins it. So he's not that good. That's what messed it up. But he certainly excels at what he does. And that, of course, is so immoral. Success is fleeting. It is unreliable. Like all idols, it will always disappoint. It is not as virtuous, as powerful, as divine as we believe it is. So that's another thing we have to disabuse ourselves of. Being successful doesn't prove anything. Being successful doesn't guarantee anything, because success comes and goes. In whatever field, in anything. So what then should be our devotion? Where should we put our energies? It's very sad when American children are told that they should be the best at what they do. They're really not told what they should do. because, everybody can decide for themselves. It's a free country. We don't have dogma. We don't have people telling us what to do. But everybody tells you, you better be the best. You better be better than everybody else in your class. You better be better than everybody else in your business. Because then you'll be admired. Then you will have made it. Then you are successful. Of course, the opposite is true. The important thing is to do the right thing. How good are you at it? That's very unimportant. If you're doing the right thing and you're trying sincerely to do the right thing, that's the best. That's as good as it gets. Should you be more successful than others, better at it than others? No, that's ugly. That has no virtue at all. That is a false god. And finally, there's a third god that we need to get rid of, and that is fame. To be famous. Everybody wants to be famous, even if it's only for 10 minutes. Fame or celebrity, it's an ugly thing. And I don't think we need to say much about that because most people already recognize and agree. Hollywood is not reality. Fame is not reality. And to pursue fame, we see what happens. Teenagers who become very famous, 10 years later, their life is ruined. They have no life. So these are the three things that could be enticing, could be attractive, but it's not what it's made out to be. And so we have to destroy the idols. I don't mean physically, but in our own minds, we have to destroy the idols and not allow it to even compete with things that are real and true and good.